afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland, and my apologies here for this episode being delayed. But basically, in their infinite incompetence, Microsoft basically pushed out a patch or update or whatever that basically just reset a lot of things, including Bandicam's settings, meaning it's suddenly gone to not working with a microphone. In fact, I just, assumed apparently worked with none, because apparently I don't want audio when recording stuff. So I didn't, of course, think about that, so I suddenly had to rush out 2 episodes this today, episode by again, and I have to re-record tomorrow's episode. So I'm hoping someone at Microsoft gets a severe case of hemorrhoids for this, by the way. But a big thank you to Blake for donating, support the Propagandacast, allowing me to keep doing this, in particular allowing me to also, have time to, sort out these things that actually an issue arises because of Microsoft. I hope they get hemorrhoids. Anyways, today's fight, Miragefla versus Penetron, Germany versus the Soviet Union, 1st Panzerdivision versus 25th Tank Corps. Alright. Jaeger Infantry from Miragefla with double Panzergrenadier Infantry versus Penetron's Mechanized Support Shot Rifle Gun Motor Triple Infantry. Triple conscript for Penetron and an MG42 Grenadier there for Miragefla. Both players aiming for the eastern side. They just really annoyed with Microsoft over this, so just, a bit more frustrated energy from me, if you will. I'll slow down the pace, I'll slow the pace down, in terms of speaking, so don't worry, but those bell ends. Anyways, we got pushing up. We can see Penetron trying to push it against Miragefla's front. Miragefla with the MG42 Grenadier, seeing an aggressive move by with the MG42. Bit risky, but if you sort of keep it proper support, it should work out. In this case, he's repositioning the MG42 and seemingly, he's, I think, trying to catch our flank more, but the problem is he actually leaves himself more vulnerable to a west-eastern flank when he's picked out by the Grenadiers. So the waist angle his machine gun feels a bit weird, but there you go. He should be able to stop at least one country squad, allowing his remaining troops to then focus down the other country squad. So there you go, but the country are flying up on the MG42's repositioning it. And he's probably going to focus on this one. There you go. He's going to leave the infantry to deal with that country squad and then leave the MG42 to deal with the other country squad. So nice work here by Miragefla. Defeats an otherwise reasonable assault there, but Penetron, in theory, could have sort of, done things a bit different, maybe sent an engineer squad as well to support. Either way, though, Miragefla wins here for the fatherland for the 1st Panzerdivision. More pioneers on the way. They're not going for a 3rd Grenadier squad, indicating Miragefla wants to seize more territory. We also got Penetron moving westwards to seize territory there. Engineers being rushed off the field here by Miragefla's men as other Grenadiers move ahead. Back in his base there. Nothing further going on there. Could go for more conscripts pretty soon here. Or medics or Molotovs. Same pioneer squad out from Miragefla. Looks like they'll be heading westwards here and there. Engineers being pushed back by the Grenadiers, grabbing the eastern victory point, grabbing the munitions, and here grabbing another point. With a 3rd Grenadier squad there from Miragefla. Not on the way after the 2nd Pioneers. So an interesting sort of opening build there. Triple Grenadiers, double Pioneers, MG42, but it is sort of more layered man. Some players will just go for double Pioneers right away. Ours will be going for a lot of the Grenadiers right away. We sort of mix in between them, which I do think is interesting there in terms of build orders from Miragefla. Certainly a bit unusual, but again, unusual doesn't mean bad. It actually might mean he's put some more thought into this than most other players have. So that's certainly something there to keep in mind. Penetron then not going for 4th Camp Squad. He's acting up. He's going for the supporting company. Quickly pushing up early mortars and maxims here versus Miragefla to put some pressure on him. Not a bad idea overall. Not a bad idea at all. Meanwhile, Pioneers continuing up westwards here for Miragefla. Grenadiers MG42 coming up with the MG42 is looking as slightly precarious. He's also the Jaeger Infantry got the option for ambush camouflage, which I think would be a good idea. Minesweeper was up here for Penetron. And a Maxim. No, cancels the Maxim. Cancels the Maxim machine gun here in the west. Pioneers versus conscripts. Pioneers not quite having the best luck. The conscripts, they do get Pushkin. Right now, Miragefla there's got control of the eastern side, and we could further do than take the 2 Grenadier squads here, maybe support with something else, and then send them around here, around the corner, hit the carve point, thusly making more difficult here for Penetron to be in control here. Though, of course, there's also potential that Penetron does more or less the same here by sneaking up here and hitting the carve point here. So there are some potential scenarios between both sides. But so far, Miragefla seems to suggest sticking to a more defensive stance for now. Content with the 2 victory points, the munitions and everything else on the eastern side, and is so far not looking to push Penetron, which allows Penetron to securely grab the west, but also plan out his next moves more securely I mean, Miragefla could to an extent get away with this if they not had no defensive works going on, leaving one Grenadier squad for him to grab territory and have the Pioneers lay down mines and barbed wire and everything else. But he's not either. There's just 3 Grenadier squads essentially doing absolutely nothing, which you definitely feel like it's a bit of a waste of manpower there by Miragefla. We'll see, we'll see. I'd like to make a nice company up there for Miragefla and the German army. We got here Penetron with another assault. He does end up going for a maxim, so Penetron there seemingly a bit indecisive here against Miragefla. And there you go, maximum in front of the Grenadiers here, taking shots, counter TKs, blasting away up north. Pioneers advancing here, spotting ahead for the MG42, which actually had an impressive range, I believe, something around 2 kilometers in the heavy machine gun there mount. Since also, by the way, had a scope for firing with. Both Grenadiers start the house, they're interesting. In this case, still countered with a Molotov. Good work there by Penetron. Probably should want to guard for more infantry, a maxim, or possibly some guardsmen. So another way that he needs to bring up a bit more to the field here versus Miragefla. Though you should also consider another attack approach rather than just attacking head on against him, as that makes it easier, of course, for Miragefla to defend. Because I mean, this is just really sort of the defensive position, at least not without some superior firepower there for Penetron. And he doesn't quite have that, I think, here versus Miragefla. With yeah, to upgrade his Grenadiers. So we got a Panzergrenadier squad on the way there from Miragefla and the German army, the 1st Panzer Division. Maxim hauling up there for the motherland. In the west, though, Miragefla's making progress there as well, moving in the MD42 and the Pioneers. An interesting approach there, aggressive, but also I think confident in how Penetron is positioning his forces that way, sort of looking to counter it that way. So right now, Miragefla's got a larger force out here, and with the Panzergrenadiers also a more well equipped and better camouflage force. Grenadiers thereby need to retreat. Panzergrenadiers standing about here for Miragefla and the German army. Quick rough grenade there, not having the biggest impact. Penetron flooding manpower. Not entirely sure what Penetron is thinking. Meanwhile, Miragefla is thinking half tracks. Could be going here for a flamethrower upgrade. He does have the munitions for it, and no, he goes for ambush camouflage for the Panzergrenadiers. So he's not thinking flamethrower half tracks. He's thinking mechanized infantry half tracks, in the sense that it's using to maybe transfer troops out toward infantry. And we got shock rifle for Penetron. A shocking choice with shock troopers. Even more shocking. I'm just as shocked as you are, Ivan. I did not think we'd be chosen. But there you go, Panzer Wing, and he's getting the G43s. Now who's the shock infantry? Anyways, Panzer's pulling ahead there with G43s. I'm pretty sure Miragefla is literally the only person I've ever seen go with that G43 upgrade on the Panzergrenadiers after the patch. In the west here, Pioneers versus Conscripts, they pull ahead here. In the east, Shock Troopers versus the Panzergrenadiers. Shots ranging across the MP44s versus PPSH41s. And there you go, G43s, the Gewehr 43. Conscripts pushing up here, grabbing victory points and fuel points. MD42 covering a bit here, but this is ensuring Miragefla has a nice fuel lead over Penetron 2000. Medic bunkers going up there, Sanitator on the way. And we got the Mietler Schützenpanzerwagen there awaiting orders for the fatherland. Note the interlocked road wheels there, which I believe allowed for a real greater stability when driving and just better maneuverability. Of course, it had that particular disadvantage of being an absolute bastard to maintain and do maintenance on. But there you go, half took the Panzergrenadier here there, G43s, MD42s, and a single Sturmgewehr singing out there against the Russian, plus the MD42, which you forgot about, supporting from the other side. Good work there, Miragefla. I think a skillfully executed assault here. As you continue with this mechanized infantry assault, the half-track basically just being supported by the half-track, not from inside though. Allowing the half-track to reinforce if necessary. In the east there, nothing happening as Penetron pushes forwards, penetrating Miragefla's eastern flank. Got anti-tank grenades up there for Penetron. After they're roaming about, the 251. Usually each Panzer division would have 1 battalion of armoured half-tracks if possible. That was at least what they're supposed to have on paper. Obviously it wasn't always the case they got that, but as a rule of thumb they're supposed to have. Though actually at the beginning of the war they only had a company's worth of it, exception the 1st Panzer division, which actually had I think 2 battalions worth of armoured half-tracks, as a fun note. But as a rule of thumb, 1 battalion, you know, and gepanzerte Panzergrenadier Abteilung, or armoured Panzergrenadier battalion, by the way. That's how it's designated, by the way. They weren't just a Panzergrenadier unit, they were an armoured Panzergrenadier unit if they were in a half-track. So, little fun note there. Got a use of sprint here. Actually, good work. Allows to get out of the way of the shock troopers, calling stuff. Yeah, command squad also running here. Shock troopers now being focused down by the Grenadiers and the Pioneers. The one Grenadiers got quick retreats, doesn't try to sprint. And in the west here we got Grenadiers with half-tech support. Panzers also getting supported by he healed up with the Pioneers. They're using the medikits, ensuring he doesn't retreat. And this is again also the bit of the power of the half-track, and then combined with other elements, you can actually maintain your force in the field much more easily, ensuring you don't have to spend time getting them back and forth on the field. Here in the east, though, Penetron's assault is complete and enveloping whatever forces Miragefla has left, causing a complete frontal collapse. Though he's sending in the Jaeger command squad, thinking to try and stall and delay Penetron for as long as possible. We have no tech yet there from Miragefla and the German army. We got Panzers pushing ahead here, and we got healing and reinforcement going on here, making here for the half-track. And what Miragefla connects to is by take the troops and sort of get around here, hitting the cough point, and then using the buildings here to make it harder for Penetron to get out of there, get in. Penetron taking up here, tank battalion command up here for the men of the 25th Tank Corps. Back here, reinforcement going on. And Panzergrenadier there we go, sprinting into the house, taking up a tactically advantageous position, though with just a Pioneer squad support, he's going to need his rush in the half-track and other elements of support. Otherwise, they just risk getting overwhelmed. And there go, we got Molotovs off here against the Panzergrenadier. Ach, Scheiße, I'm on the fire, Ludwig, I'm on the fire! Hilfe! Just stop, drop and roll! You idiot. Because they're already halfway to actually taking some damage there. Reinforcing, though they have to pop into the half, in which case we can actually rush them straight past the maximum and then get behind them and even wipe it out there. MD-42 sending up, so there goes Sebastian in to support them. In this case, machine guns to support, though he's going to have to get that one out again. But still nice to see some mechanised infantry tactics here from the Mirage, but this is one of the things I do so much love about Campaigneers too. You can actually execute them to some degree. They do wish they'd give it a veterancy one suppressive ability instead of this infantry awareness stuff. It doesn't quite fit it. That allowed the half to be much more useful defensively and offensively. But oh well. Yeah, command squad hitting points here. Constantly under fire from the Panzergrenadier and the half again. They haven't had to retreat yet because you can always just reinforce them at the front line, just highlighting how useful the half-tech can be for a German player. It sort of helps an extent compensate for the smaller squads. Which is kind of why I always find it weird when a player goes for a lot of infantry and then never bothers with a half-track. And now the Oberkommandant doesn't have excuse either. They have the Ober Blitz. So again, if they go for a lot of infantry and don't go for an Ober Blitz, I kind of find them silly. But there you go, Raffnet has quite an impact, killing numerous men, leaving them in a pile of corpses. Miragefla taking up there for the German army. Deutschland. Yeah, come out, squad, they're hiding out. Alright. When ready, when I yell surprise, we shoot them. We shoot them? Yes, this is not a surprise party. This is an ambush. But why do we yell surprise then? Because of irony, Helmut. You know, he'll think, a surprise party for us. Wunderbar. And then we shoot them. Oh, you're so devious, Herr Lieutenant. Yeah. So this is why I'm in command. Got the T-7 rolling ahead here, opening up with the Grenadiers out in the open. Got a Maxim setting up the Pioneers, so run straight in front of it instead of trying to flank it. Meanwhile, counterattack being enacted for the west. Big sweeping assault here. They can sort of support each other at the same time. They're sort of a sensible distance, so they get stopped by a machine gun. They can also envelop targets, threaten retreat paths, and the half-track sort of basically focuses and works as the nucleus of this force. But it does mean his eastern flank is again a bit exposed here as Penetron once more lands in heavily on his own, but he should be able to do some serious damage. And then again, he's sort of angling it here a bit more of an echelon, so again he can sort of better have a chance of cutting off retreat. Though he could have possibly, I think, left half-track to sort of reposition the unit up here better, so that way sort of cut off the retreat path better. But overall, I mean, sort of a well-executed assault there by Miragefla. A well-executed assault, I think. Some very good finesse there. And Miragefla is going for tier 4. An incredibly bold move, and definitely not what I recommend. But he does, I think, have the prerequisites of actually being able to pull it off, which is he has a fat advantage, which is usually the only time we can actually get away with rushing for tier 4. That is, if you have a huge fuel advantage, which he does have versus Penetron. I mean, I still argue just going for Panzer Force would be better, but it's not a bad choice under these circumstances to try and aim for a Panther. It's not a bad choice. So we'll have to see how it works out. Though popping the Panzer comes back in the half track. Needs to be a bit careful of the T-70 about. This is usually the moment we want to be more careful with any kind of infantry assaults. Or to usually want more than one if your squad is really still going in aggressively there, to be honest. All the way, in he goes. For the fatherland. Heavy Panzer Corps going up there for Miragefla and the 1st Panzer Division. Mines down there. That's going to be a bit of a problem over the half track. Assault on the car point. We get a big assault from the south. The support from the MD-42. Half to their ground the fuel point. We got the T-7 moving in. And the half track's obvious retreat. Escape path is going to be straight into the mine. Down it goes. A nice attempt in Miragefla. I mean, had he had, say, a Minesfield Pioneer squad and start the half track, by the way, they can actually spot mines from the start of the half track. He could have, you know, survived that, but that's another story. In the west here, constant and shock troopers all moving the 1 Grenadier squad here. Certainly a lot of maneuvering going on from both places, so they're not just getting caught in grinding there and down. They're trying to get the surprise in another plane, you know, get some wipes, and there you go. Penetron gets a successful wipe here in the Grenadier squad. Quite a lot of stuff for Miragefla and the 1st Panzer Division. That's going to be a bit difficult to come from, and could give Penetron something to push ahead with. Of course, there's still the Panther coming. There's still a Panther coming. Maybe it's Sturmpanzer, but I'm thinking of Panther here from Miragefla, since he's not going for any anti-tank to help deal with the T-70. A Panther seems like the choice here. As for Penetron, whether he's going to try and take out or go for an IS-2 is the question here. Grabbing the fuel point here, walking past the wreckage of the half track. I can still smell the stench of false grenadiers. Savant any in it. Shut up. I'm trying to be emotional. Conscript of the T-70 moving ahead here, spotting ahead, looking for targets, looking for anything that might blow up the T-70, and there we go, Jaeger Command Squad rushing ahead, seeking bloody vengeance for the half track. Back here, troops reinforcing. Panther is still a few moments off. Pioneers unwittingly rushing into the shock troopers. The assault's obviously not being none too happy. We got a CIS-3 right here for Penetron. The CIS standing by me from making a factory named after Stalin or something like that in that steel sense. And then I got the eventually 2 G-33 wielding Panzergrenadier pushing back here these shock troopers with violence and swear words. Ground points there, ground points there. Got the T-70 running about. Bit of quiet here. As Penetron is obviously reorganising his forces for the next attack, for the next wave here against Miragefla. He's just trying to push ahead. He's being aggressive. He's not just passively sitting about. He's just pushing ahead for the fatherland. And there we go. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Pride of the Reich. Conscript units moving up. You've got Panzers there hiding in ambush though. Rifles and assault rifle ready. Conscript moving up here. And there you go, opening up. Interesting enough though, if you order them to attack an ambush camouflage, they will not trigger the bonus. You have to sort of order them to just fire freely and then they'll do it. It's one of the weirder things for that ambush camouflage, to be honest. Grenadiers getting slowly murdered though. Low on health already. Pretty risky stuff there from Miragefla. But Panzers dealt with engineers pretty easily. Obviously, I mean, they've actually 2 that G for the feast. The engineers have most of the guns and some caps. And there you go, put up against the conscript. They'll cost a lot of cover. There you go, Molotov off. And that, I think, should give the Panzers a bit of a harder time here as the conscripts. They could easily beaten them, to be honest, if not for the Molotov. And there we go. Panther arming here from Miragefla and the 1st Panzer Division. Panzerkampfwagen 5. Oberleutnant Heinz Walter reporting. Couldn't you sound a bit more enthusiastic? Nein. Okay. Got the Pioneers shredding the conscripts. The MP40s making short work of the conscripts. Got the T-7 moving in there. Panther pushing up hard. No pin-up machine gun though for the Panther. But the mere presence of such a wonderful piece of German engineering, whenever it works, is sufficient enough to deter the Russians from standing in one place for too long. Miragefla flying up with the Pack 40 is clearly worried about needing some extra support here for the Panther. They should remember to support the Panther with infantry. He doesn't, want the risk of being caught out in some spot and he can't extricate it because, there's nothing to help get it out of there. We've got 2 field guns here ready. This is gonna be really unpleasant for the Panther. He's going for the T-70 obviously, but in this case, I think actually Penetron might have baited the Panther. He just, the way he set up the field guns, now he's using the T-70 in such an obvious manner. It feels like he very much tried to bait the Panther into kill zone with the field guns. And I think it would have worked. In this case, the Miragefla took a slightly different angle here than Penetron expected, but had he done it slightly wrong, that Panther could have suffered a lot more damage. But there you go. Miragefla finding around with the infantry support. The Panther there ends up with a damaged engine anyways on the Panther. Bit of bad luck there. You got artillery running down. Panther taking off from the T-70 and whatever else is nearby. Got the pack following up to cover as well here. Incendiary barrage off, lighting the nearby fields on fire. Here comes this being slowly shot to bits here with the maximum. The shock troopers, Jaeger command squad moving up. And there you go, 1 Panther with the veteran for the elite retreats. Fixing up the Panther. And it looks like Penetron is just aiming for the IS-2 at this moment. We'll have to see how that works. And of course, I have to see when the last goes for the 2nd Panther. As that's going to give the IS-2 a really hard time, I think. With its high velocity 75mm gun. Panther rolling about there, taking hits from the field guns. Exposing the rear to an area, we kind of figured that might be anti-tankers, was that perhaps not the best move. There you go. Half health already in a matter of seconds. That was not the best move there from his tank. Troops setting out here, Panther is there. Jaeger command squad and the Grenadiers. And there you go, catch the conscript, a bit of crossfire. The problem is the T-70 supporting the conscript squad, bombarding the Grenadiers, threatening to end their lives. We see now Penetron's control the fuel point here, in fact, versus Miragefla. The Panther sadly not quite having the results here that Miragefla I think had hoped in terms of, siege. There you go, constant being pushed back here. The Panzergrenadiers, the Grenadiers, and the command squad. A storm of bullets flying in the general direction. There you go, Penetron's IS-2. The Joseph Stalin tank arrives. Miragefla launching an assault, Grenadiers, and everything else rushing supported by the Pak-40. Keeping the T-70 in bay. Comes there being shredded by the elite Panzergrenadier. And there you go, the IS-2 rolls hit disco on the way. Machine gun still not on the Panther by the way. And there you go, shoots and blows apart poor Ludwig. Shot there from the Pak-40, which penetrates the thick frontal armor of the IS-2 heavy tank. Equipped with 122mm gun, specifically designed for blowing apart positions like trenches, bunkers, and fortified buildings. It was actually not designed for taking on tanks, otherwise they would have used the 100mm gun they had for that. Panzer squad there, almost swapped out by the IS-2. We got another shot there from the Pak-40, penetrating the IS-2's frontal armor. That's a little fun fact about the IS-2. It also had a really slow to reload gun because at 122mm the shell had to be split up like the shell itself and then a propellant. So that rather meant the IS-2 shot rather slowly compared to other tanks. Fun fact. Got the Panther rolling here, going for the shock tubers, trying to maybe crash them all the way though. Nothing happened. Still no machine gun on the Panther though. Kind of machine gun give out on top anyways. Ground the fuel point over the Grenadiers. Troops here healing, reinforcing. Got a Panzer from Miragefla. He's clearly not worried about the IS-2 then if he's going for it. Of course, he is. Apparently, he's probably going for it because he wants to counter the field guns. The way that Penetron's operating the field guns, which is really close to each other, he's hoping to get the field guns to reveal themselves and then sort of take them out with a Panzer for barrage. I guess, plus we can also the infantry. We've also got MG42 there with ambush camouflage. IS-2 moving ahead here, sweeping up, going on the west side there. Good work by Penetron. Field gun shock trooper sending out. Panzergrenadier on the move. There you go. Panther opening up in the IS-2. Fails to penetrate though. IS-2 gets a machine gun. Penetron hitting it from the Panther on the IS-2. The 75mm gun of the Panther had high penetration due to the sheer velocity of the shell, which also made it much more accurate because there wouldn't be much dive on the shell, what they call a drop. Because again, of the sheer velocity, and that's actually probably one of the more important things when it comes to tank warfare. That's just the penetration of the gun, and that comes from velocity. A lot of it. There you go, more hits on the IS-2. We've got the field gun support, we've got infantry rushing in at the IS-2. We've got incendiary badges called down, field gun falling back, Pack 40 moving up, Panzerwerfer is ready as well. In this case, he has to put out the field gun, so single Panzerwerfer barrage can't take them out. And there you go, Panther there, lands veterans 1, IS-2 almost down. Going in with the Panther though, there's still the field guns. And there you go, pension from the IS-2, field guns opening up, there we go. 2 hits, the Panther's down to almost no health. I think, be nice, I hope you can get the IS-2, we made the miscalculation, and the Panther goes down. Panzerwerfer fires, and oh, I think he was trying to take out the IS-2 with that as well. Like, he just, I think he suffered from tunnel vision. He just focused everything in destroying the IS-2 that he just lost sight of the field guns entirely. Crushing loss there for Miragefla. Expensive too. He's actually now built us a armor core. Interesting. And considering the timing, I don't think he was anticipating on losing the Panther like that. Oh, he did get the field gun here with a light infantry gun barrage. So that's a small blessing there from Mirage. But right now he's got not much on the map left. He's lost his Panther. His opponent's got an IS-2 and a T-70. Basically, Penetron's got the armor advantage. That's bad news for Miragefla and the German army. Great news for the Red army. Dear Soviet diary, today I destroyed 1,000 Panthers. No, Herr Commander, you destroyed 1. I destroyed 1,000. I will report this to Stalin, so I might not get sent to Gulag after war. Fixing up the IS-2 there. Penetron could benefit from some mines here, and the Fletcher mines at the very least could also have an impact. Panzers there back in ambush camouflage. MB4 setting up without it. We've got a smaller scale assault here with the Conch coming in from the west side. It's actually launching a flank assault, but without any sort of serious support, they might not quite have the impact it's hoping for. In particular, now that Miragefla's already got troops nearby ready to stop the assault from going too far ahead. He's attacking head on with the shock troopers to the maximum IS-2. One thing Penetron should consider is actually smart to lay down smoke screens. So that way you can, for example, cover up Pack 40s and the likes there. And you can use it for the IS-2 to push it. We got the Panther barrels here. Get some troops here, but not enough. And the IS-2 rolls straight ahead into the Pack 40s. This is where Morse would be great. He's trying to think to get the Panzer there, but that obviously didn't work out. Now he's about to lose his shock troopers to the command squad and the gunners. There you go, the IS-2 taking heavy damage from both Pack 40s. Maximum got wiped too. I mean, the thing is, Penetron, I think, could last a much more effective assault if he'd just gone for it with the IS-2 and some infantry. Basically launched this, basically the diversion assault from the front. Then with infantry, IS-2 pulled through here, practically the IS-2 can break through this. Attack on the cuff point, get behind the support weapon, you do a lot of damage that way. Instead, I would say he rather did it the opposite way. He tried to use the diversion assault here, and then attack from the front. Maximum destroyed. Miragefla obviously wants none of that Marxist filth to stay in good German hands. Shock troopers attacking to the Panzergrenadiers, who are doing a lot of damage to the shock troopers. The MD-42 though is also helping on matters. I mean, Penetron definitely needs to learn that on angle will you always try to flank. It also tends to be one of the big mistakes a lot of players tend to commit on angle. They don't flank, they use attack head on. Except angle is really designed for flanking through this road here. We can sort of sneak up from different angles, so I don't know, I definitely feel like Penetron is playing it not too fully efficiently. He might in fact be going on confidence. He's taking up, he's going for Katusha to help, provide a too far as well. Though of course a T-34 just flanking with an IS-2 could also prove to be quite effective. Got another Panzerwerfer barrels here from Miragefla. Konsk is almost run down. Fun fact, the Waffen-SS had a version of this that fired Katusha rockets. Initially they used sort of captured stock of rockets, but eventually they actually began making their own rockets. Fun fact. There was also a version used in Normandy by the 21st Panzer Division. I think that was the Rheinwerfer. Or that Vielfachwerfer, I can't quite remember which one of them. But that also fired Katyusha rockets. So, small fun facts there. Once they're hiding out. IS-2 moving cut forward there, but the direct hit from the IS-2 evaporates off. The crew leaving only 2 men left to somehow face the IS-2 threat. Small flank of the shock troop, but not enough weight, I think, to really have an impact. The IS-2 is forced back as Katyusha rockets fly. He got one of the Pack 40s, he's probably going to try and finish it off. We've still got one Pack 40 flying heavy fire. We got the Panzers just sort of watching as the friends get obliterated. We can't do anything. And the rest of this almost got the Pioneers wiped out. There's a good chance of getting one. And we got an artillery strike called in here, I think, on Penetron. Right, he got the Pioneers. Shock Troop was trying to avoid the artillery. Pack 40 recruit. Damn the costs there for Miragefla. He's not going for any medium armor, so again, I think this is a problem, of course, because he thought he'd, not get his Panther obliterated, so I think he's aiming for another Panther. Oh dear, this is a problem, of course. Just feels like a really bad decision there for Miragefla. A moment of regret. Like getting drunk and then waking up in the morning and realised you bought some really unnecessary things. In this case, Miragefla got drunk on Panther, I guess. Which is a really bad thing to get drunk up in the current state of affairs. But a really good strike there with the Panzerwerfer, though. Killed a lot of engineers and other things. That is really good there for Miragefla. And there you go, 2nd Panther Miragefla and the 1st Panzer Division. That's the 25th Tank Corps launching the incendiary to the barrage for small scale assault here. I mean, the way Miragefla is dug in here, he's going to need a large scale assault with the more going on there. I really think he should have gone for extra mortars over the Katyushas, because while the Katyusha has more range, it can provide smoke support, and needs to be able to spot the packs and then quickly smoke them so he could just move his tanks ahead. It's either that or Penetron needs to get a lot better at flanking. And again, we've got a small scale flanking assault with a bit more of a diversion from the front, but still a blind spot. This time it does seem to have a bit more effect than Miragefla assault's committing to a small scale raid of his own into the west there. Grenadiers Panzer, they're flying away at the advancing shock troopers. Craters and grenades all sort of mixing together here. Contra Squad not pulling in there. We got a Katyusha badge, I think, down here. Yes. Trying to stop the Pack 40s moving ahead with the IS-2. T-70 nowhere to be seen. He's not moving the shock troopers close either to the Panzers of the Grenadiers, which just means they're going to take more damage than the deal. So overall, this feels like a bit of an awkwardly executed assault there with Penetron. He's also got enough fuel to actually go for T-Fels. He's got manpower. He should go for tanks now. In the west, Miragefla, they're pushing it again, and we got Panzer IV. So we went for Panzer IV instead of the Panther. That's fair enough, I guess. Not what I've anticipated. So I guess this problem, of course, isn't going to be a complete waste. In fact, it might be why I went for it. So I guess he's justified. Yeah, it was fully planned, man. You feel like it was fully planned. Got to wipe there though with the Panzerwerfer. The Panzerwerfer though is definitely paying itself off. Much more so than the Panther. Got the IS-2 with 19 kills. And there you go, Panzer IV rolling ahead from the Miragefla and the German army. Engaging the Russian infantry, supported here by the Panzergrenadiers, launching another ambush. 32 kills. 33 kills, comes the flat to get wiped out. It seems like the shock troopers were absorbing most of the hits. Nope, they got wiped, he wasn't retreating them. And the IS-2 is wreaking havoc on Miragefla's western raid force and wiping the MG42 from the face of this earth. 23 kills for the Svartaland. T-Fed falling away there for Penetron and the 25th Tank Corps. IS-2 roaming about. Panzer pursuing the shock troopers. with extreme prejudice. These are the pioneers. And there you go, he's obliterated here by the IS-2 almost. Oh, Fritz got obliterated. And there you go, T-34 from 6 running from Penetron. Miragefla flying man, probably might, I suppose, be trying to stay out for the Panther now. Spawning here using the T-70. Pack there, spot it, taking a loss there. Taking another loss. But isn't quite wiped anything in the IS-2 after that. You might want to let the T-70 actually deal with targets as well. That way if they're focusing down the IS-2, the T-70 can sneak past you and maybe clear out some weapons and roll that way. Got the Pack 40 there. Second one is back in the base here. Shock troopers taking direct hit from the Panther barrel shot, close, almost getting wiped out. Panther 4 moving in, we got the field guns moving in, T-34 from 6 moving in as well, IS-2 needs to get moving as well, and needs to get the T-7 that's support, so needs to commit everything he's going to do this. Got Tilly calling in the field guns, IS-2 not moving, T-7 still not moving. He got the Panther 4, but T-34's almost knocked out as well. Field guns being pushed back. T-7 still not doing anything for support, field gun wiped out. This is sending to the mess here for Penetron. Miragefla is close to a Panther. Less than 100 points left here for Penetron. T-7 moving about now, but it's not been ordered to fire again. It's not into combat mode. Moving in a Pack 40. T-34 down, kaput. Panther on the way from Miragefla and the 1st Panzer Division. IS-2 sending in here for the kill. Misses spectacularly. Panther lost plenty. But not enough here to stop the IS-2. And there you go, Pack 40 crew annihilated. Poor Ludwig running away in panic. And there you go, Pack 40 destroyed, Panther halfway done, Penetron pulling ahead, but his forces have been severely depleted after. I would say that was a pretty botched assault there. I mean, he didn't use his elements in a very efficient manner, suffering, I think, unnecessary losses that could easily have been avoided. That was just sloppy. And now IS-2's getting hit there by the Pack 40. Panther's almost done. Miragefla bringing up a 2nd Pack 40. He's taking no chances here. He's also got plenty of infantry, so he doesn't need to bring up anything else. Penetron there trying to escape with his IS-2, which is actually very close to Veteran T2. Got a Katyusha barrage on it to cover up against the Pack 40 and anything else. Nice calling, I think, there by Penetron. Gets the Pack 40, in fact. Well, he needs to get the IS-2 fixed up. The problem is he's in fact down to just now 1 engineer squad. He just lost 1 shock to the squad bar as well. Panther rolling ahead here for the fatherland. It's on the prowl. So needs to spot the IS-2. In this case, it's rear armor exposed to the Panther. Shoots, kills 2 engineers, but not the IS-2. Even hits it. IS-2 shoots, misses. Panther misses again, kills another engineer. Like, that has got to be some of the weirdest, worst shot ever. Like, just missed the IS-2 but kills an infantryman every single time. Like, how can you be so terribly bad? Good. Or badly good. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like every single time it missed, it killed someone else. Fritz, you missed yet. You hit something else instead. I'm not entirely sure I'm supposed to be impressed or disgusted. And there you go. Penetron just gave up, so he's barely got inch left in his armor is in complete tatters. A brutal fight right here on Angerville. But I think some good armor tactics from Miragefla, some decent armor tactics from Penetron. But all the Penetron issue was, as the fight went on, his armor tactics, all his assault tactics really degenerated. He just became sloppier, didn't try to flank, didn't try to outmaneuver, which really made it easy for Miragefla to defend and just allow him to beat him silly, which was really the issue there for Penetron. He struggled actually to keep the assaults going as the fight went on, which was certainly not helping him out. He could go on for mortars, but also just flanked, really. Just, and he flanked more, he probably could have beaten Miragefla. Miragefla, I think, put too much emphasis on the Panther at times. Also threw away that first one. That was a really big mistake. But also then the support call did not further help out Miragefla. There's definitely some mistakes on Miragefla. But there you go. Hope you got this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe to your friends, so share it with everyone. If you'd like me to do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. This is Impernian signing off, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.